Lin stood confidently before a group of vampires, observing one of them, weakened and leaning against another for support. The man suggested a collaboration with Lin and his followers, a proposal that left the ladies of the vampire group stunned. Lin, with a sly grin, raised his hand and offered them something they desperately needed. Blood, the vampires, pale and fragile, exchanged uncertain looks, but they were in no position to refuse. As they gathered around, Lin seized the moment to taunt them. "Your current blood reserves won't last long," he declared with a knowing smirk. His words struck a nerve, highlighting their dependency on outside resources for survival. Lin made his offer more enticing, explaining that goblin blood, while normally of little value, contained special properties. These properties, he said, could replace the human blood they had been relying on. But the catch was that the vampire ladies had to embrace a more primal form of existence. Becoming like succubi, the vampires were confused, their brows furrowing in confusion. Some of them whispered among themselves, exchanging doubtful looks. Lin, watching their reaction, let out a subtle cough, masking his amusement at their naivete, or perhaps hiding his excitement about the potential partnership. The story began to unfold, revealing how succubi had discovered a valuable substance, a white sauce, that provided them with sustenance, without the need for violent bloodshed. For centuries, succubi had been using this substance as their primary nourishment, relying on it to survive without harming others. This discovery had freed them from the vicious cycle of hunting and killing, offering a stable and sustainable way of life. A goblin among Lin's followers fell to the ground. His body trembled from sheer exhaustion. His wide-open mouth and vacant expression exposed the heavy toll their sacrifice had taken. But Lin, completely undeterred, boldly stepped forward, flexing his own muscles and those of his followers. "We may lack many things," he said confidently, "but we certainly have the strength, and especially the white sauce." The vampire ladies, skeptical but undeniably intrigued, listened intently as Lin offered them an endless supply of this special white sauce in exchange for their cooperation. He proposed a partnership that could benefit both sides, guaranteeing them a stable future if they agreed to work together. The vampire leader, a strong-willed woman with piercing red eyes, hesitated. She voiced her concerns about their loyalty to Baron, their longtime master, and the dangers of acting independently. Yet, her resolve remained firm. The suffering they had endured for centuries had pushed her to consider any potential solution, even one as unorthodox as Lin's offer. "If this works," she declared, "it could be the answer we've been searching for. We no longer have to risk our lives for survival." With that, she stepped forward, her decision firmly made, and began the process of extracting the white sauce. The other vampires gasped in utter disbelief, watching with wide eyes as their leader took the crucial first step toward this new method of nourishment. The atmosphere in the chamber grew incredibly tense as they anxiously awaited the results. Moments later, the results became clear. The leader's expression shifted from initial doubt to pure astonishment as she realized the white sauce was indeed a perfect substitute for fresh blood. A loud gasp echoed through the chamber, followed by a chorus of excited exclamations. "Is it really true?" one vampire asked, her voice filled with disbelief. "I want to try it," another eagerly proclaimed. The scene quickly descended into joyous chaos as the vampire ladies clamored to test the substance for themselves. They charged ahead. Their enthusiasm exploded into frantic energy. One vampire lady, struggling to keep order, bellowed for everyone to just calm down. But the whole situation was spiraling completely out of control. Amidst the chaos, Lin let out a frustrated sigh and urgently called for one of his subordinates to help steady him. His hand trembled slightly as the chaos only intensified. Just as things looked like they were getting totally out of hand, Lin was saved by the graceful clan mother of the elves, who gracefully stepped in to offer her support. She teased him gently, commenting on how challenging it must be to wrangle these eager vampire ladies. "Indeed," Lin muttered, This group of bloodsuckers has completely lost their minds. The elven woman, addressing him by his clan's name, offered a reassuring smile. Lin, grateful for her unexpected support, finally took a moment to just catch his breath. As the situation calmed, the vampire leader, now convinced that Lin's offer was truly genuine, stepped forward with renewed determination. I agree to the partnership, she declared, her voice firm and resolute. But what do you expect from us in return? Lin gestured to the dark, vast cave that surrounded them, its shadows a perfect sanctuary for the vampire ladies. This cave, he explained, is a perfect home for you. It's hidden from the outside world, and it will provide you with all the privacy and security you need. He then laid out the terms of their agreement. The vampire ladies would protect the cave from any intruders, ensuring its safety. In return, they would have access to the white sauce, allowing them to thrive without any conflict or the constant need for hunting. The vampire leader, her resolve unshaken, nodded. She understood the immense significance of Lin's offer. It was a truly rare opportunity, and one they absolutely couldn't afford to pass up. We will protect the cave, she promised. And in return, we will finally have a future, free from the dangers that have plagued us for so long. With that, their unusual pact was sealed. Lin and the vampire ladies officially embarked on an unprecedented alliance. Lin's confidence in this unique partnership grew as he observed the vampire coven settle into their unexpected new life. No longer bound by the perilous hunt for blood, the dark cave transformed into their sanctuary, a safe haven where they could finally live in peace. And a mysterious white sauce proved to be the ultimate key to their survival. The vampire leader stood frozen, her gaze fixed intently on the ground, as she silently weighed Lin's audacious offer. The cave was steeped in darkness, and the flickering shadows only amplified the immense weight of her decision. She had to make. After a tense few moments, her guarded expression shifted. A confident, knowing smirk spread across her lips, signaling that her choice was firmly made. She cast Lin a brief, calculating glance before turning and retreating into the cave's dark depths, her silhouette swiftly fading into the enveloping shadows. Lin watched her retreat, a sly smile playing on his lips, a soft hum escaping his lips, as if he were already plotting his very next move. The scene then abruptly shifts to a peaceful city. Under the tranquil cover of night, the streets are quiet, the soft, inviting glow of streetlights reflecting gently off the ancient cobblestone roads. However, this tranquility is violently shattered by a loud, angry voice echoing from a nearby building. Inside, a furious commotion brews. The sound of harsh insults and bitter frustration fills the air, as one man vehemently curses another, daring to call him a complete failure. The voice belongs to an angered adventurer within a bustling tavern, where tensions are visibly running high. At a dimly lit table in the corner, two adventurers are fiercely locked in a heated argument. One, a brash and insufferably boastful man, openly mocks his companion, accusing him of falsely pretending to be a high-ranking diamond-tier adventurer, scoffing that even mere goblin territories are far too dangerous for such a coward. The other man, beet red and absolutely fuming, angrily retorts with a venomous glare, accusing his opponent of blatant dishonesty and pure greed, and outright refusing to share any rewards from their past quests. The argument's fury visibly intensifies until both men slam their hands down on the table. In frustration, the noise reverberates across the tavern, drawing the attention of every patron, just as the conflict seems poised, on the verge of spilling over. The tavern door creaks open, and a woman steps inside. She's dressed in elegant white armor, and the delicate flick of her handkerchief to her nose catches everyone's attention. One of the adventurers, still seething with anger, freezes when he sees her. His eyes widen in disbelief as he stammers in awe. "Sword Saint." The room falls silent as the adventurer approaches the woman, his voice filled with admiration and relief. "Sword Saint, you're alive," he exclaims, his words full of joy, as he believed she was lost to a previous battle. Soon, the other adventurers gather around the Sword Saint, drawn to her presence. They take seats at her table, with her sword resting confidently by her side. One of the adventurers, emboldened by her presence, suggests an ambitious plan. We should unite all adventurers for an assault on Dragon Island. He says, we can finally wipe out the goblins and dragons in one decisive blow. But not all the adventurers are as enthusiastic. One man hesitates, voicing his concerns about their limitations. Do we, as ordinary adventurers, really have the strength to take on such a mission? He questions nervously, unsure if they can truly contribute to the effort. As the tension builds, another adventurer steps forward with a casual grin. Count me in, he says nonchalantly, as though this were just another quest. It's just lending a hand, right? He introduces himself confidently as Allison, a diamond-ranked marksman, and offers his assistance in the battle to come. I'll lead an organized group and help safeguard our path to victory. The Sword Saint, seated gracefully at the table, with a faint, approving smile, she acknowledges his offer. She then entrusts him with the crucial task of confronting the looming goblin threat. But Allison, with a calculated gleam in his eye, approaches the Sword Saint, his tone suddenly turning far more serious. I also need your help, he declares, mentioning her fabled expertise in magical transportation. Would you be willing to guide me to Dragon Island? I would be honored to have your protection for the journey. The Sword Saint nods with her usual calm poise. I can help you, she calmly agrees. With her voice unwavering, Allison then expresses his gratitude, calling it an immense honor to fight alongside her. But as he steps back, a sly smile crosses his face, subtly betraying his true intentions. In his mind, however, he dreams of using this mission to skyrocket his status, his eyes fixed on becoming a legendary adventurer, and he would do whatever it took to achieve that goal.